Hey, what's up, YouTube? The Chaotic Dragon is back again. Alright, so today I'm going to show you some replays from my Lightsworn deck. Alright, let's get started. Alright, first one. Alright, so this Lightsworn deck is a little different from the previous ones, and in case you're wondering what program I'm using, this program is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Dawn of a New Era. So feel free to get that. It does have link monsters, which I will show you. See? Link monsters. All the card images are in Japanese, but the text over here is in English. So it works pretty much just the same. The only thing you can't do yet is full matches. You can only do single duels, but if you're interested in seeing how links work in your deck, this will work. And DevPro is still a superior program, but this already has the links. So if you're looking for it, now you know what to search for in Google. Just search Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Dawn of a New Era. That's how I found it, and you'll get link monsters. And if you want to give DevPro some hell for, not having links, even though this lesser program does, well, I'm not going to fault you for it. I mean, DevPro will get pissed, but, they're pissed about everything these days. At least from my experience. Basically what this is it's my deck versus Cosmo, so it's, updated Tier 2 deck versus old meta deck, because it's not as meta as it once was. And yeah, I do some simple stuff here, just getting through. I don't really think this guy's version of it is that meta, to be honest with you. I think he's just playing a Cosmo fun deck, but I gave it a whirl. Yep, and there's the Decode Talker smacking. Its effect doesn't really come into play here, but it's game over. And boom goes the dynamite. That's my favorite thing right there, is that Grand Maju plus Fairy Tale Snow combo. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Lots and lots of damage. Okay. Now, I'm just going to warn you guys, because this is how the replay system on this program works. When you're done looking at a replay, it completely exits it out, and you got to go back. So, alright, here we are up against a Zook deck. And this one's a very updated Zoo deck. I mean, updated-ish. A lot of these players on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Dawn of a New Era are not very competitive. They're usually just here for fun, so even if they play a competitive deck, they usually try to play it in the most fun way they can. But it does give you an idea of how your deck will fare against this kind of deck. And this person's playing, like, I think the only reason they gave this deck even any kind of cushion is because of Pot of Desires. And Pot of Desires makes it, you're going to lose 10 cards, so it's no big deal if you play more than 40. He's playing a cheaper Twin Twister, which I kind of chuckle at, because my deck's like, Twin Twister's just fine. Did the smart thing, putting the Trident face down, and then Orbital here is my deck's new equivalent to Trident. The only problem is I can't just go into it whenever I want, and there are conditions. But I'll explain that later. I'm just showing you that this version of the Lightsworn deck is pretty tough. Pretty powerful, pretty tough. Oh, also, if you'll notice, when he used Lithogasm, the Earth True King, he took out these 3 extra deck monsters, but I'm playing Lightsworn, so the extra deck isn't actually as relevant as people like to think it is. Lightsworn don't care. I don't know why he bothered attacking with that Link Spider. Maybe he just thought he needed to get rid of some space. But at this point, he kind of had to give up, because I still had plenty of cards to blow stuff up and attack. So ultimately, it was game over here, and he knew it. So Alright, now, and for our final one, it's gonna be Lightsworn versus True Draco. Or True Draco, as I wrote on the title for the replay, because I don't know how to spell, apparently. And he didn't draw the best either. But I do mill a shit ton. Now, I did end up taking out the triple wolf play, but I'll explain that when I get to the deck profile at the end of the video. It's kind of like, who can blow up the most shit? That's kind of what it looks like right now. So it's just pop, 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 pop. You blew up all my stuff and I still was able to be like, nah, is that all you got? It gets really funny, actually. Like, he pops the Raiden not knowing what I'm doing. Like, bad move, bub. You didn't even pay attention, did you? I put that face down. Let's see here. And at this point, it's looking pretty grim, but I haven't given up yet, so I managed to get Geki and out his board. That's my biggest advice to you, by the way. If you're playing against True Draco, make sure you got an out to Masterpiece here. That's either all three. You need a trap out, you need a spell out, and you need a monster out. You need one of each to get rid of Masterpiece. And I mean, I'm playing Lightsworn, so obviously he was going to get rid of a monster, so you want a trap or a spell to be your next out when you're up against the True Dracos. Most likely. I mean, truth be told, if he doesn't tribute a monster, you know, this guy's pretty weak against, like, fucking Fairy Tale Snow and everything else, so. Alright, so at this point, I've exhausted all of his resources. He had no way to come back and beat me, and I still had a loaded Fairy Tale Snow and a Bujinche here, which is going to bring back this big, hulking son of a gun. I mean, this thing was going to come out and just decimate his life points in one blow. That's why he gave up. So, alright, that's all the replays. That was against Cosmos, Zoos, and True Dracos. So, here's the deck profile. This version of Lightsworn revolves around this Orbital. And Orbital is an interesting machine. Hold on one second. Alright, here we go. Alright, I have the deck kind of built in real life-ish. The deck's not exactly the same as it is on the screen, but I'm getting it close to that. It's called, in America, it's called Orbital Highlander. This guy. And basically, you need 5 monsters with different names in your graveyard. So, this is why I took out the triple wolves, and I've limited myself to only having a handful of monsters with the same name. Excuse me, I haven't had much sleep. So as you can see, we got triple Raiden, triple Lumina, double of this Bujin guy, and that's like everything we have that is an extra name. The rest of the monsters in here are to act like Thrasher here or Wolf to give us extra summons. So, for example, for my Wolf replacements, I threw in Revival Golem and Fellis. She's a worse Wolf. But if she's milled by a monster, say like Orbital here, or any Lightsworns, or this Bujinte Kagasuchi, then yeah, she's free. She's out, just like Wolf. She's also a tuner, so that's helpful because sometimes you'll run out of tuners when I have to banish Raidens to keep the name count down. And then we got Goblinberg, which he's a worse Thrasher if you ask me, because you got to use an effect which can be striked, but you know, it is what it is. And then you got Revival Golem here, who acts like the opposite of Wolf. It can go defense mode, and it can also go to the hand or the field, and go either one, so that works out for your benefit. Then we play Fairy Tale Kageyuga, or Luna as it's called here in the States, and it'll add Fairy Tale Snow to our hand. So we can ditch the Snow with Lumina or a Twin Twister, and voila. And then we have the Bujinte Hiroko, and he's summoned out of the deck by Unexpected Die, so with an Unexpected Die, he almost works just like Thrasher. And then so you can use him to make any of the Xyz monsters you see here, or what we can do is we take 2 light monsters, make Tsukiyomi here, play him as a pendulum spell, banish him to make Tsukiyomi into Amaterasu or Kagasuchi. Which is really useful because before Hiroko existed, we couldn't do that. Kagasuchi was strictly something that had to be summoned via like double wolf, and that's it. Because he needs 2 beast warriors. Thanks to Kagasuchi, thanks to Hiroko here, we now can just take Hiroko plus wolf, or Hiroko plus Felice, or Felice plus wolf, or multiple of these if we were playing a version of that deck. And you get Kagasuchi, who's him and Minerva being both in the same deck. Here, I'm moving them next to each other. The thing with the 2 of them here is Minerva and Kagasuchi basically serve the same purpose, in to mill the deck. Kagasuchi will mill you 5, but Minerva will only mill you 3. But Minerva also, when you use Minerva, you're more than likely going for card advantage, where Kagasuchi is just extra mills. So it depends on what you're trying to go for. Because we do play enough Lightsworns to make Minerva live and draw cards, which is also very useful in letting us, keep up with meta decks. And then we got Naturia Beast here for Glow Up Bulb, plus Revival Golem, Hat Tricker, or Goblin Bird. Okay. Well, and this extra deck, the side deck, you don't have to go with this, and the extra deck cards you actually need are, I'm just going to go ahead and move them over. If you ask me, these are all you actually need. These guys right here. From Michael all the way to Decode Talker, this is all you need. These guys are just extra. You can replace these as you see fit. I really like the Highlander. He kind of acts like a Dryden that mills, like the Zodiac Dryden. So this is why I play him. This machine monster is so... he makes Card Trooper... it's like Card Trooper, only bigger, and it destroys. It doesn't just mill and gain attack like Card Trooper, so it's very useful. The thing is, though, you got to make sure your monster count, you have monsters with different names and that try to do the same thing. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to blow stuff up as often. So, keep that in mind. Also, you don't have to play Return to the Front if you don't want to. I choose to play that because, I like the idea of, having another, Monster Reborn type card. And it's good. It's worth buying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. If you're willing to spend $1 on a common, this is a good one to spend $1 on. Alright, and it's pretty budget friendly. Everything in here is pretty common. The most thing you're going to spend money on is here in the extra deck, and Decode Dockers are no more than $3. Which is, this guy is literally the only Link monster you really need, at least until they come up with something that's equivalent to Mrs. Radiance, which is an Earth one that only requires 2 monsters and gives you the same zone openings. When they come up with a light equivalent, that one would probably be better. But knowing our luck as Lightsworn players, they're going to be like, we're going to make this Seeker Super Ultra Rare, and you'll only pull one out of 50 boxes. Yeah, screw you, Lightsworn players. Because that's what they did to us with Minerva. They were like, it's a prize card, good luck. And then they had to reprint it. And, yeah. all of us Lightsworn players were like, yeah, reprint, and then, oh, link format. Fuck. But, on the bright side, link format has slowed the game down just a smidge. Not by much, but it's slowed it down a little bit to where a deck like this can keep up. So, if you guys like what you see here, here's the deck. Feel free to play around with your own versions of it. And this is the Chaotic Dragon, and just remember, guys, keep up with the chaos. And I'm out.